What's going on, growers? It's Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. 10 years ago, this backyard was just all grass. Now, it's a food forest, a food paradise. So today, me and Tuck want to take you along and show you how things have changed. Let's go! The spot that I'm in right now, 10 years ago, was the location of mine and Tuck's first garden. The backyard was all grass, but there was one circular location right here that was all sand where an above ground pool used to be. That's where me and Tuck started our first garden. And yeah, it might have been just a couple annuals, but the important thing is that it was the start. Since then, me and Tuck have not stopped planting things, and the backyard went from grass to an actual food paradise. We're surrounded by fruits and vegetables. This location right here was the entrance to my garden 9 years ago. A year after me and Tuck started, we decided to expand our garden. So what we did was we laid down a bunch of wood chips in a location and then started planting perennials. One of the first perennials that we put into the ground 9 years ago was this grapevine right here. As you can see, the grape has gotten much bigger, the trunk. And as we look up, you'll notice that this grape is producing insane amounts of fruit. I mean, it's just incredible and unbelievable, but that's what happens when you invest. Things really do pay off after time. A few years after we expanded our garden, we decided to add the greenhouse. This, me and Tuck built a few years later, and it's provided an amazing amount of value in regards to starting our seeds. It's become an incredible nursery. So a lot of the annuals that we planted to the garden, this is where they all start. As time has progressed, me and Tuck have continued to expand the garden and have just added more and more perennials. I'm going to give you a clip of the first video that I ever posted, showing you the backyard in its raw form. You can see it was just essentially all grass. The location that I just showed you, where there was a scrub pine tree, now we have a peach tree in production with fresh, organic, beautiful peaches on it. Some of the biggest peaches that I have ever grown. Let's pick this one off and taste it. Let's grab this fresh peach. This variety right here is the Avalon Pride, which is an awesome variety because not only does it bloom late so it avoids some of those early frosts, but it also ripens early. Look at the size of this thing. Absolutely massive. Only about 1 or 2 little marks on it right here. Almost a perfect peach, but huge. Let's actually taste it and see how good it is. This thing's gonna be so juicy, I know it. I can't wait. Organics, so we can just grab it fresh right from the tree. Nothing like it. So much juice, so much flavor. Absolutely incredible food. I've got so many more things I need to show you though. And let me bring you along because this backyard, like I mentioned, it was just your standard, all grass, super regular. This right here, this stump, is an old Bradford pear tree. So this Bradford pear tree I had to take out because it was on the south side of the property, so it was blocking a lot of the sun coming in. When I removed this Bradford pear tree, I replaced it with a bunch of apple trees. So right here are apples that we never would have had we not removed that tree. I've got apples loaded on this tree here, a bunch of them looking fantastic. Come down here more. We've got even more apples. Apples and peaches are my favorite fruit trees, so I've got a lot of them. Then let's move to the right where we have even more apples doing just fantastic. Look how beautiful they are. And I've thinned them out, so there's not a whole lot of apples on each tree, but we're gonna get delicious apples that ripen, and I mean, there's nothing like it. Some more hidden under there. And then look down below us. Underneath the apple trees, we're growing even more food. Eggplants here, green beans that are just getting ready to start producing. You can see some little beans on the purple ones here. In the back, we have our next round of cucumbers and all different kinds of melons and things. As we move down this way more, this is my earliest ripening apple tree. This is the Williams Pride. It's got some nice fruit on it. I cannot wait to be eating fresh apples. These things will be ready late July or really early August. So it's great to have different varieties of fruit trees that ripen at different times. So you could really extend the length of your harvest. So you can be eating fresh fruit for such a long period of time. Notice all the flowers we have in here too. And I put these raised beds in not long ago, or well, just beds in general, and they have just kicked out incredible amounts of food. We've got cabbage here ready to go. Another cabbage over here ready to go to be harvested. Look at that. So dense, incredible food right there. I'm even growing some stuff in pots along the fence lines. Look at the cute watermelon back here. Look at that thing, just hanging. It's gonna be a great harvest there. And you know we have so many tomatoes growing because that's just our style. And more stuff in these raised bed, grapes along the fence line. I'm gonna show you some more grapes a little bit later. We've got buku grapes growing, like crazy grapes. Here we've got a lot of tomatoes growing in this section, all different varieties. Here's some of the super sweet 100s. These ones taste so incredibly good. I'm gonna have to try one right now. Let's see how they actually taste. Nice sweetness, a little bit of acidity. So many more things to show though. Let's keep moving. Over here. This is the first time I'm growing this variety of tomato. These are blue tomatoes. So these should be a bit unique as they start to ripen. I've never grown blue tomatoes, but I think it's pretty cool. Right to the left of that, you'll notice we've got some zucchini ready to be harvested. So much squash ready at this time of the year. And then the boss has got some of his toys hidden back there too. This guy's gotta have some fun. You gotta give him a break now and then. Then, right here, we've got more fruit. Let me lift this up. This insect netting, we're keeping the birds out. Look at the blueberries. You'll love to see it. Incredible color on these blueberries. Then right next to it, we have the pink lemonade blueberry. Look at the sets on these things. So nice. So we have two different varieties of blueberries growing right next to each other. Let me pop some of these in my mouth real quick. Then we have pears growing here. There's not a lot of pears on this tree, but there still are a few. This is the Asian pear. This will be ready much later in the season. And then we have another Asian pear over here with some pears on it also. Again, not loaded, but we still expect to get some harvest from this one. Some nice cute little pears. In my older food forest, I've got the Chijuro Pears. Those are loaded. We're gonna get a lot of fruit off that one. Look at the tomatoes we have planted in the ground as well. These things are gonna be big producers for us. And we have plenty of zinnias mixed in too. And check out this Keyhole Raised Bed right here. So years ago, this section was just, had an old tree in it and we weren't getting any production out of it. It was just a tree that wasn't producing for us. So now we've got an insane amount of food coming out of this location. I mean, everywhere I look, there's zucchinis. Look, there's cucumbers all the way over here. It looks like it's grown out of the zucchini plant. More zucchinis down there. We've got massive cabbage ready to harvest in there. Look at that. This thing's ready to go. Huge cabbage. Come to the left over here. We've got all different kinds of squash. Look, we've got the patty pan squash, a white one. Really cool. We've got more patty pan squash in the back. But let me show you these grapes along the fence line back here. Look at the sheer number of grapes. This is going to be a bumper crop in regards to grapes this year. So this is what we love to see. Incredible production in a location that used to have no production. So years ago, we spent a lot of time and effort just keeping this backyard all mowed and we didn't get anything from it. Now we spend some time and effort, but what we get out of this is incredible amounts of delicious food that you can only get if you grow it yourself. Before I show you the changes that can be made in a garden with only 10 years, first we want to make sure Tuck has some fresh water to drink. Some cold water, boy. So we're gonna fill him up with some water. He's such a good guy out here. We even got some ice cubes in there for him. And I want to mention, if you want to grab some merch, get it now at jamesprigioni.com. We've got water bottles like this to keep you hydrated. We've got some shirts like this. All different kinds of, we've got kids clothes, we've got kneelers. So there's a bunch of different things. Check it out at jamesprigioni.com. Let's keep moving though, because there's so many things to show. Just peer up a little bit. Look at this, the Honey Crisp apple. Absolutely incredible. Look at those apples down there. And up there, so beautiful. This is a dwarf tree, so this is basically as big as it's gonna get. Loaded with apples and this small. Such an incredible thing. Peer to your right just a little bit, even more apples. This tree is doing the best out of any tree in the whole entire property, I think, when it comes to apples. Loaded with beautiful apples. You'll notice the spray on it. We're using a combination at this time of the year of kaolin clay and sulfur to help reduce some of the apple scab. Let's keep going though. There's so many more things to show. Here we've got some beautiful tomatoes. These have a little secret twist to them that I'm not going to tell you now, but just know that these are pretty crazy what I'm doing right here, and you guys will find out in a couple weeks. Look back here, an insane amount of cucumbers. I mean, they can't be stopped. Look down here. Look how big some of them are. We really need to get harvesting. There's just so much food. Maybe we'll get a little one for the little boss. What do you think, boy? Crack it. Tell me what you think. Not bad? Tuck approved? I think so. Let's let the little boss work on that, and let's keep going ourselves. Okay, so come over here. Some more super sweet 100s. This one is planted right into the ground. Behind it over here, the Sun Gold Cherry. My all-time favorite flavored tomato. So good. We'll have to pop one of those in our mouths just to get that flavor because it's so dang good. Definitely sweeter than the super sweet 100. So incredible. You have to try the Sun Gold Cherry if you never have. Look along this fence line. Even more cucumbers. It's getting really hot though, so our plants are starting to wilt a little bit. And plus the production of these cucumbers, some of the size of them. Look at this thing. I mean, we're talking cucumbers for days. Over here, look at this. Look at all those back there. You gotta be kidding me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget these ones back here. This is the Suyo Long. Look through the fence, even more. I mean, we could spend hours on cucumbers back here. This is by far the most cucumbers I have ever grown. Let's keep moving though. We've got so much more food to show. Look at this mushroom basket tomato here. Look at those tomatoes down there. Have you seen anything more beautiful? This is the mushroom basket tomato, really nice, kind of like the Castelluto Genovese, but larger tomatoes and a more disease-resistant variety, which is convenient. Check out this pallet raised bed now. Look at the sheer number of tomatoes down here and the absolute beauty. They're all starting to ripen, as you'll notice. That's what we love to see. So they're slowly starting to ripen. Soon we'll have so many tomatoes here. And let's take a peek at the cucumber that we were growing up a string in the pallet raised bed. This is the cucumber that I pruned, hanging some beautiful cucumbers from it. Look at that. So nice. Growing up that one string. Come back around over here. Even more tomatoes. This is Tomato Alley, I like to call it, because we've got this straight row of just tomatoes that you can just come down, like from over here. This is the start of Tomato Alley, right? We come down here, we go bam, grab some tomatoes over here, over here, over here. As they get bigger, we'll be grabbing them like this. More here, there, so much food. Here's the Castelluto Genovese that I was talking about, sort of like the mushroom basket. This one's got a lot of fruit on it, doing really well. And you'll notice that there are so many sunflowers growing this year. I let a bunch of them come up as volunteers, and we've got some really unique ones, some cool ones. Look at the size of this thing. So many heads on it too. And the one behind it, it's like a combination of the red sun and another one. It's definitely a hybrid, but it's really unique in the way it's growing. Love the color. The bees seem to be having a blast too. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a food paradise, but it's not just a food paradise for people, it's a food paradise for all living things. Check out this sunflower. This is the most ridiculous sunflower I have ever grown. Look how many heads it has on it. You almost can't even see green. All you see is flowers, and all bees see is food. Man, the bees must be happy with this one. Look at the bee right here, just actually in a coma. The thing is so happy, just having the time of its life. Pretty cool. Let's get over to some stuff we actually did plant though. You'll notice this year, I'm growing a number of things in buckets just to get extra use out of the space. So I might be underneath a peach tree that's producing some peaches for us, that has been producing for like 9 years or so, but we've also got tomatoes growing in pots. Look at that. Beautiful. Here's the super sweet 100. Move over to my right, the Sun Gold Cherry. More in pots, getting the most out of the space that we do have. Next, let's show some of the blackberries. You thought you've seen a lot of fruit on something until you have seen the blackberries. It is so much fruit on this thing. I'm trying to stay on top of watering it because I know it's going to need a lot of moisture in order to actually finish and produce these berries, because there are just so many on them. The reason there are so many is because I encouraged this plant to grow laterals. That's where all the fruit is on. Not the main stem coming up, but the laterals off the side. Here, cucumbers. Right here, we've got more cucumbers growing up a string with some beautiful cucumbers on it. This one is the General Lee, so I really like this variety. So again, getting the most out of the space that we do have. Here, we have the Prigioni apple. It's got some apples on it. I'm not sure it's gonna produce a lot of them because the plum curculio was so bad this year, and I didn't spray this one with the kaolin clay, but still been an incredible producer for us in the past, and it's really fun to have a tree that you planted from seed in the garden. Keep coming though. I want you to take a peek at the Echinaceas here. So something that we've continually done as the years have progressed is we've added a lot of flowers, especially our perennial flowers. These things go to work for us, bringing in the pollinators, showing the beauty, providing medicinal, and we don't ever have to do anything. It just takes care of itself, and next year it comes back even bigger. Let me keep going. Here's a cherry tree that had some cherries on it earlier in the year. This is the sour cherry though, so it's not as delicious as like our Rainier cherry is. Over here we have the hazelnut trees. These ones have some fruit on them, like here. Some nice looking fruit on the hazelnut trees, and some more up there. So there's a good amount of nuts on them. The only thing is, to be honest with you, I doubt we're going to get the nuts because the squirrels are like so adamant about eating these nuts when they're small. So we still haven't figured a perfect way to keep the squirrels out. A lot of people have mentioned to get a cat, and I'm going to probably do that in the future. I just don't want to get a cat just yet with the boss. He doesn't feel like hiring a cat as an employee just yet. Right here is the Chijuro pear. This is the Asian pear that just kicks out fruit every single year for us, non-stop, so reliable, a great tree. And it seems as though the plum curculio, which is one of the big issues where I live when it comes to fruit, they don't really mess with the pears as much. I guess it's because the skin is harder or something, but their first choice are the plums and peaches, then they go after some of the other things. So fortunately we can get good fruit on this about every year. Behind us is the persimmon tree. Look how big this thing has got. I mean, a couple years ago this thing was like up to my waist. Now it's just gotten huge and it's loaded with persimmons. I love this tree so much because it extends the season of my fruit harvests. These persimmons won't be ready until like November, till way after our first frost. So that makes it so we can get fruit from early spring, like I'm talking late May, early June with the strawberries, all the way into November with the persimmons. So it's an incredible thing to be able to harvest fruit for that amount of time. It's a joy. That's today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Me and Tuck love making videos like this so much because we love to show the progression. We like showing where we came from because I think that can relate to a lot of you. I mean, this backyard, it may be a little bigger than yours, but it's essentially the exact same setup. It's just a standard suburban backyard with some grass. And to see where it is now, if you take a little pan around, I think it can be encouraging for some people because they've got that old saying that the best time to plant a fruit tree is 7 years ago. The second best time is today. So I want all of you to start your food forests if you can today. Take an action, order a fruit tree, put a fruit tree in the ground, whatever you can do to get started, because it's not about doing a whole lot the first time, but it's about continually adding to your garden, because there's that old saying that everything accumulates. Over time, we're either going to accumulate the good things or the bad things. We can either accumulate more trees, adding more perennials, leading to more fruit, or we won't add anything. And if we don't do any work, the whole thing will just turn to grass and weeds again. So I want everyone to get out there, get some stuff planted, so you can have a garden like this where it's just a joy to be out here. I'm encouraged to, do any work that needs to be done because I know I'm gonna get an incredible payback for it. So it feels really good when you actually pay that price and the promise comes true and you get to actually, taste the fruits of your labor. So before I let you go, I want to mention to grab some merch down low. Check out jamesprigioni.com. Grab some shirts, grab some water bottles, grab a kneeler. We've got kids' clothes in there, women's clothes, and all different kinds of things. I also want to thank one of the new channel members, Tina Howard. Thanks for being a part of Team Grow. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for allowing the dream that me and Tuck had from just going from a regular backyard to a food paradise. Thanks for being one of the people who has, allowed that to come true. We love that you're part of the team, and we want all growers to be part of Team Grow so we can all grow huge amounts of foods together. Me and Tuck will be back at you guys, not in a long amount of time. I think he's headed inside or he's headed to a different location because I'm telling you, it's getting super hot. It's a really hot day. We're at like peak heat this time of the year. So James and Tuck will be back at you again real soon. We out.